Hey, hey, Donna Price here, and I am thrilled that you're here for our Charting Your Success Path training. We haven't done this in a while, so I'm a little bit behind, but I'm glad you're here. So let's get started. In case we haven't met before, I'm Donna Price, your guide today. I'm a mom of two incredible young women and passionate business owner, coach, mentor, guide. And I love being outdoors, cycling, especially kayaking and exploring. So I'm thrilled that you're here today for the Success Path training. And I just want to share a couple things before we get to the training. At Compassers Consulting, we use the compass as a metaphor for finding your direction, keeping you on your path, headed towards that vision. So the north is your vision, where you're going, what you're building, and I see that as leadership or part of leadership. And then we have your values, your strategy, and your impact, all embedded in leadership. As we go around the compass, the east is marketing, your connections, your relationships, your customers, how you do that. And marketing, as we know, is a key to growing your business. The south is operationalizing, creating the systems within your business so that it runs well, runs easily, and positions you for scaling your business and ultimately selling your business. In the West, we have your products and services. You've got to have something that you're selling in order to be in business, right? So those are your products and services, and we look at how they're bundled. I see a typo there. Whether you're offering subscriptions or continuity programs, and how you're innovating those products and services to make them the most valuable to people. And at the center of the compass rose, is your heart, you, the leader of the organization. And in that, we see your personal development, your self-care, all important to a thriving business. Inside of Compassers Consulting, we also look at the business growth keys. So we see these keys as the essential things that you need to be looking at to increase your profits. So your traffic to your store, your website, how you connect with people and bring them into your world, how you nurture that connection so that you eventually convert people into customers and buyers. Your pricing, always a way to increase profits is pricing, right? And some people hesitate there. So pricing, the shopping cart. How many things do people have in their cart, whether it's in your store or online? And can we increase that? Getting people to come back. So we stay in touch with people so that they come back over and over again. And creating recurring continuity type programs in your business and looking at that as a viable way of increasing profits. And then your profit margin. How can we increase your profits by decreasing your expenses? So all of those keys, when we put them together and we make small shifts on each one, we can have a monumental impact. I lay all of that out in the Business Growth and Profits Field Guide. So if you haven't had a chance to pick that up, I encourage you to go grab that. It's free. It's inside a members area, and there's a lot more resources in there as well. So you can grab that at compassersconsulting.com/field guide. That link will be in the show notes as well. So today we're talking about persistence, consistent action. And persistence was one of the things I talked about in my book, Launching Your Dreams, that book traces my story of biking across the country and climbing the Bighorn Mountains in Wyoming took persistence to get up to the top of the climb. It was a 30-mile climb. According to the map, it wasn't a very steep climb, but it was still 30 miles uphill. So it took a long time, and it took a lot of persistence, consistent action, consistent pedaling to get to the top. So I see it as one of the essential traits that you need to build that success. We need to have persistent action in our business. If you don't persist, it could mean that you're quitting. And if you quit, you surely are not going to be thriving, right? So commitment and persistence, two of the values I talk about. I got ahead of myself. So I should have added a picture in here too. But that consistent small action, one pedal stroke after another, I have to tell you, I was going about 3 miles per hour on a touring bike with panniers front and back. So you could barely hold the bike up at 3 miles an hour. But that persistent, consistent action got me there. So what could persistent, consistent action do for your business? Persistence is actually a skill that you can learn and train. The ability to bounce back from failure and to power through obstacles can be strengthened through use. So I want you to think about persistence for yourself. Like I go back to that mountain. Like I visualize that. I remember that. It's like a life lesson that I use over and over again for myself. And here I'm sharing it with you. So can you make a list of 10 times that you've persevered when it was hard and been successful? Can you make a list of 10 situations where you didn't have the successful outcome you hoped for because you gave up? Now, I want you to take those two lists and find 5 takeaway points or lessons learned from your experience. So maybe it's I give up easy when faced with financial hardship. I know for me, sometimes I get really close to making something successful and then I start hesitating. So now that I know that, I can look at that when I'm getting to that point and feeling like I should give up or quit and recognize that pattern in myself and recognize that there's something underneath that hesitation and that feeling like now it's time to quit. So I want you to, once you've analyzed these two lists and you have 5 personal life lessons, right? 5 things related to you. I want you to go back to your strategic plan or your goals, however you do it, and identify any potential issues that could come up with each of those goals, kind of related back to that list, right? And then write down how you could persist through those things that could come up. Because often when we look at goals and why people aren't achieving their goals, it often is like themselves, right? Ourselves, of how we get in our own way. So now we're kind of trying to front load that with how you could overcome that before it happens, like how you can front load that and have a strategy to persist through that before it even happens. So that's the question. How can you be persistent? It's a good question. So if you have more questions or you want to get a little clarity on this, you're always able to schedule a clarity call with me at compassroseconsulting.com where we can talk about persistence or your business. And it's not a sales call because I don't really do sales calls. So working with me is a choice and you're welcome to make that choice, but I'm not going to get on a call with you and push that. So it's a safe space. And don't forget to grab a copy of the field guide at compassroseconsulting.com/field guide and make it a great day. I am curious what you come up with as a life lesson. So in the comments, leave one of your life lessons that you discovered by going through this activity of identifying persistence. When you persevered, when you didn't, what you learned. All right, make it a great day. Take care.